Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. We've made it to a Thursday, the 12th day of February for 2026. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day the right way. All the news, weather, and sports that you need to get out the door here this morning. We've got a ton on the table to discuss here today. The Nebraska women's basketball team, they're going to be in action tonight playing at a red-hot Minnesota team that has won 6 games in a row. That'll go at 7 tonight on BTN. The Nebraska softball team is going to be in action today in Clearwater, Florida, at the Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational. Huskers will play a couple of games today. In fact, they got one coming up bright and early, 9 o'clock this morning against LSU. Then they'll play Georgia at 3 this afternoon. Nebraska Athletics has announced plans for the Nebraska spring football game. We'll talk about that coming up. McPherson College used a big 6-run fourth inning to beat the Hastings College baseball team yesterday by a score of 13-3. Hastings College softball team going to be in action today down in Kansas. The Nebraska Kearney basketball team's on the floor tonight against Newman University at the Health and Sports Center. And some high school basketball we're going to talk about what's coming up tonight in Grand Island. Plus, the NSAA has released the high school football schedules for the next 2 years. We'll take a peek at the Tri-City teams and what's coming up here for football teams on the gridiron here for the next couple of years. So all that and more is coming up. We've got a ton of other things, news and notes to discuss this morning as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios. Good morning, my man.
And a good morning. And, yeah, always an exciting, I guess, way to start off the show when we can talk about announcements from a company perspective. I was just glancing through social media yesterday, saw a little press release from the company, and another season upcoming here for the summer of Legion Baseball.
Yeah, we're the voice of Hastings American Legion Baseball for the 3rd straight year, the exclusive voice for Legion Baseball. So when we get to that season here coming up this summer, it seems so far away, but yet it's on the horizon.
It's literally right on the...
Yeah. We'll have Legion Baseball. We'll have most of the Hastings 5 Points Bank games on the air. We'll have the juniors games as well with Hastings Johnson Imperial Homes all the way through the state tournaments this year. The junior state tournament, by the way, is going to be held in Hastings. So we're already guaranteed a spot in the junior state tournament. But we'll have the action throughout the summer, and we're really excited about that. Just one of the many things going on with extreme sports these days. Boy, it's been busy. We've got basketball, and now we got basketball kind of winding down. We're getting ready for the spring season, the summer season coming up. So there's a ton of things coming up. So we are fortunate to have you listening to us this morning and joining us on Extreme Sports. So I don't know where to start here today because I got a ton of stuff that I want to talk about. Let's start with college basketball. Okay. I told you that the Nebraska women, they're going to be in action tonight playing at Minnesota. Huskers have lost 3 games in a row. Minnesota has won 6 games in a row. The Gophers, pretty good team. They're sitting at 18-6, 9-4 in the league. The tip-off for the game tonight will be at 7. You'll be able to see it on BTN. So that's what's going on for Husker basketball. In the top 25 last night in men's basketball, there was one upset as Virginia Tech brought down 20th-ranked Clemson by 10 points at 76-66. But we had a game last night in Manhattan, Kansas, where Kansas State lost to Cincinnati 91-62. That was the 5th straight loss for the Cats, who are now 10-14 in the season. They are 1-10 in the Big 12 Conference, and their head coach, Jerome Tagg, he was pissed off last night in his news conference following the ball game. In fact, there was a news conference. The post-game news conference lasted all of about 2 minutes.
These are my favorite.
Maybe it was 2 minutes. But anyway, this is Jerome Tagg, the head coach for Kansas State, following the Cats' embarrassing 91-62 home loss to Cincinnati last night.
This was embarrassing. These dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. There will be very few of them in it next year. I'm embarrassed for the university. I'm embarrassed for our fans, our student section. You know, it is just ridiculous. I'm like pissed, man. These dudes got to have some. They got some pride, man. They got some pride. It means something to wear a K-State uniform. It means something to put on this purple, man. Our everything this university is about and all that it's been about. Why I love this place, man. Like they don't love this place, so they don't deserve to be here. Yeah, I'd wear a paper bag too if I was them.
Yeah, the student section late in the ball game all put on paper bags. Things are not going well for Kansas State. Again, they got blown out by Cincinnati last night, 91-62. Kansas State's basketball team is on the floor right now, matter of fact. They're going to have a 6 a.m. practice today, but they're on the floor, and that was Jerome Tagg. Obviously not happy with the way his team played.
I don't know that I'd wake up at 6 a.m. and join him for practice. You know, if he tells me I'm not going to be wearing the jersey next year, I'll just say, you know what? Why don't we start this party a little bit early and toss her in the middle of the court? Yeah, look at it two ways. There's me that had been crying for all fall to have Matt get on some of his players' asses and stop taking the accountability. Then there's the exact opposite of the spectrum, and he's just throwing everybody under the bus. He's saying, y'all suck and don't deserve to wear the jersey. I don't know that that's all incredibly true, but you know, take a little pride and have a little. Where's the tradition of Kansas State basketball? I'm trying to come up with what tradition existed that he wants his players to get back to playing.
God, they're 1-10 in the Big Ten or the Big 12. They're obviously not playing very well. Ryan Martin, who's a big KU fan, he's already chiming in on the social media sites. Oh, the Wildcats have reached rock bottom. It's hilarious. Coming from a KU fan.
I don't know that they ever got to the top.
Yeah.
They had a couple good seasons.
They made a tournament a couple of years, didn't they? Kansas State
made a decent run at things. They had Martin was their head coach, I think, for a while before he went off to South Carolina.
There might be another opening down at Kansas State after this year with Jerome Tagg saying those sort of things. Yeah, that news conference lasted for about 2 minutes, maybe.
Well, I mean, and that's fine. I see both sides of things as a person that's been involved in sports journalism and also as a person that's been involved in coaching. When you're going through this kind of a rut, and what would you say, was it 9 straight?
What would I say? 5th straight.
5th straight? At some point.
It's not easy.
But at some point, the questions are irrelevant. I mean, it's the same thing that we did the night before. It's the same, same results. How many times last year we were going through with Hoiberg when it was when we were having our little stumble in February and we were talking about the same things that weren't getting fixed and just over and over and over again. It was like I could have played the press conference from the Maryland game 6 weeks later when we played Purdue and the coach speak would have been the same. So sometimes I get it, short and sweet, get in, get out, say you're pissed off,
get back on the practice floor at 6 a.m. this morning.
Throw the accountability on the players. I'm all for it, but at the same time, you also have to be able to come up with something different, right? So if you throw the accountability on the players and you say, hey, it's the player's fault. We're not doing anything different, and you don't tweak your system a little bit or make changes, and you trot the same 5 back out there, well, then you got to look at yourself in the mirror as head coach. So I'm for accountability, especially since these guys are getting paid to do what they do now. But be able to get some results after doing stuff like that. That's kind of a last ditch effort, so to speak, from the coaching staff standpoint to try to get a little spark from your players.
Kansas State's next game is going to come up on Saturday. It's going to be on the road, which is probably a good thing, but the competition is going to be pretty stiff. They play at number 3 Houston, so their losing ways will probably continue. Anyway, I thought that was kind of neat to listen to. Jerome Tagg to start your morning off. This is Mike and Tyson. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for a Thursday. Got some other things we want to talk about here today. Bonner Park Racing is going to be starting their, what is this? This is like their 70th or 73rd season of live racing at Bonner Park in Grand Island. They're going to race Saturday and Sunday this week on opening weekend. Jim Sliker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network is going to join us each and every Friday throughout the horse racing season in Nebraska to give his insights, maybe help you out winning some money and other news going on as far as racing is concerned in Nebraska. So he'll be joining us beginning this week on Fridays at 7:30 to talk horse racing. Bonner Park is enhancing the fan experience, I understand, a little bit. So if you're heading up to the track this year, they have installed a 29-foot outdoor LED video board.
Really?
They've replaced the older television sets with more than 100 high-definition screens throughout the facility. And they've also expanded seating in the Skyline area, which now includes additional pub-style tables and post-race entertainment. So those are some of the fan experiences that you'll encounter when you head up to Bonner Park this year. Again, they'll be racing Saturday and Sunday. This weekend, a 73rd season of live horse racing at Bonner Park in Grand Island. So anxious to get that started. That means spring is coming up when we get the ponies going at Grand Island.
And that means the casino is having a lot of success. The full casino's only been open since the state fair, mind you, and already we're seeing the fruits from it with expanded gaming. And Mike, we talked about this for decades, dude. For decades, Bonner was coming up and talking about the need for expanded gaming and what it could potentially do for the horse racing industry and all of the things it could potentially do for the track. And in one season of the casino, we're already seeing the fruits from it. Dude, it's like, I just wish, I wish Steve could be here to see it.
It's going to be a busy day Saturday at Bonner. You're going to have the opening day of horse racing season on Saturday. You're also going to have the Heartland Hoops Classic.
Yeah.
They're going to be playing basketball. And Bonner Park is going to start their season, plus the weekend activities at the casino. So if you're heading to the track on Saturday or heading up to the basketball games at the Heartland Hoops Classic, you might want to get there early. The weather is supposed to be all right. Might be a little rainy on Saturday, but parking is going to be at a premium on this Saturday.
Do we have any local flavor in the Hoops Classic?
Yeah, Adams Central's playing.
AC is? Okay.
Against Alma. So anyway, those games will be going on in the arena, and they'll have Bonner Park starting their season, and then everything that's at the casino on the Saturday. So it's going to be a busy day. Let's see what else. Not so good news here. BYU wide receiver Parker Kingston has been charged with first-degree murder or first-degree felony rape. The charge comes from a nearly year-long investigation that began after his 20-year-old woman reported a sexual assault to officers when she was at the St. George Regional Hospital. The woman told officers that Kingston sexually assaulted her on February 23rd of 2025. Kingston is being held without bail in Washington County and is scheduled to appear in Utah's 5th Judicial District Court on Friday. Kingston was BYU's leading receiver in the 2025, catching 66 passes for 924 yards and 5 touchdowns. Now he's facing a charge of first-degree felony rape. This is the second high-profile allegation of rape against a BYU football player in the past year. Remember back in May, former quarterback Jake Retzloff was accused of rape in a civil lawsuit before the parties jointly agreed in June to dismiss the case with prejudice, meaning it could not be refiled. No criminal charges were ever filed against Retzloff. However, he could have faced a lengthy suspension for violating BYU's honor code, which prohibits premarital sex. He got pissed off at the school, and he later transferred to Tulane. So another BYU football player is in some trouble. This one is their wide receiver, their leading wide receiver from last year, and Parker Kingston. He's been charged with first-degree felony rape. So what's going on at BYU? Yeah, remember that story? Remember that story in May? That quarterback was pretty good. He was a pretty good quarterback for BYU. Got accused in this civil case of rape, and they agreed to a settlement. And then the school still said that this guy could have faced a lengthy suspension, so he got mad and he put his name into the transfer portal. Now he's at Tulane. So
there you go.
What's going on at BYU? Had some racing stuff last night.
Oh.
Kyle Busch. My man Kyle Busch. He won the pole for NASCAR's season-opening Daytona 500 last night to give the driver with the longest active losing streak in the Great American Race a shot at victory that has escaped him in his entire career. In fact, Kyle Busch is 0 for 20 in the Daytona 500. He hasn't started in the top 5 since 2016 when he drove for Joe Gibbs Racing. He started 4th that year, finished 3rd. Then was a career best 2nd to then teammate Denny Hamlin in 2019. But Kyle Busch has never won the Daytona 500. He is 0 for 20. He ended the pole last night with a speed of 183.925 miles per hour in a Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing, the team that signed him before the 2023 season when his contract was up with Gibbs Racing and his salary was too high for most teams. So Kyle Busch moved over to Richard Childress Racing. He hasn't had a lot of success with the team, but he goes out and wins the pole last night. So he'll be on the pole for the Daytona 500 on Sunday. Chase Briscoe will be on the outside of row number 1. They're going to run the qualifying races tonight. That'll set the field for the rest of the starting lineup at Daytona. But the season-opening Daytona 500 is coming up on Sunday. My man Kyle Busch is going to be on the pole with Chase Briscoe on the outside of row number 1. And again, the rest of the field is going to be determined by the qualifying races that are coming up tonight.
So they set the field 1 and 2.
Yep.
And then they race, and everybody else gets placed in the field.
The way they finish in these qualifying races tonight.
And then we can take a look at that qualifying field and make our fantasy NASCAR picks, right?
Yeah, for Sunday. You're in the fantasy league with us, so
I am.
This is kind of different from everybody. All the other races are concerned.
Yeah.
But I'll get you through this. So yeah, you don't have to set your lineup until Sunday, but after the qualifying races tonight, if you got time tomorrow, put your lineup in.
Have knowledge.
Yeah, you'll kind of know who's fast and who's not. But Kyle Busch is on the pole. I better get out my Busch sweatshirt for tomorrow. I'll be wearing that, baby. All fired up by that.
Bush Light?
No, just Kyle Busch. Not the Busch Light car.
I feel like this is like that Friends meme where Phoebe's trying to teach Joey and you're trying to teach me NASCAR and it's just not following along, and there's certain words that I'm like, oh wait, Busch Light beer. You're like, no,
that's the other guy.
That's Ross Chastain.
That's Ross Chastain.
Who's probably
He's good.
He's good, right? He'll have a shot.
He'll have a shot. He'll be up there. So anyway, Kyle and Chase Briscoe are in the front row of the Daytona 500.
Sweet.
Something bad happened yesterday in Iowa. A community college bus carrying the school's baseball team crashed and overturned in a ditch in rural Iowa. One person evidently was killed, and the other 32 occupants were injured. The morning crash involved the Iowa Lakes Community College bus and no other vehicles. It occurred on a highway near Twin Lakes, about 110 miles northwest of Des Moines. 3 people were airlifted to trauma hospitals in Des Moines. The others were all taken by ambulance to 4 area hospitals. The Iowa Lakes baseball team was scheduled to play games at North Arkansas College starting on Thursday. But obviously all 4 of those games have been canceled. But tragically, there, a community college bus carrying the baseball team overturned yesterday out in the middle of nowhere in Iowa, northwest of Des Moines, about 110 miles. It crashed and injured the baseball team. So, yeah, that's not good news there. It's tragic news happening just outside of Des Moines yesterday.
Makes you just appreciate every day. You know, every day that you get an opportunity, you just never know when the plan and when the clock's up. So, thoughts and prayers continue with our neighbors over in Iowa as they deal with that tragedy. Absolutely.
All right, other news and notes. Boy, we're hot and heavy on news and notes here today. A judge on Wednesday kept former New York Jets first-round draft pick Darren Lee in jail without bond as he faces a first-degree murder charge in the death of his girlfriend in Tennessee. Well, court news for you today. The ruling by Hamilton County Criminal Court Judge Torrey Smith came after Lee was arrested and charged late last week. He also faces a charge of tampering or fabricating evidence. He's due in court for a preliminary hearing on March 9th. Lee, who is 31, played 58 games with the New York Jets, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Buffalo Bills from 2016 through 2020. He's a former Ohio State linebacker. He was the 20th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft by the New York Jets. He was the defensive MVP of the Sugar Bowl in 2015, but now he's accused of killing his girlfriend in Tennessee. He's up on first-degree murder charges just outside of Nashville. So that's the latest from the court blotter. Had a couple of them today. Some coaching news in the NFL. The New York Giants are hiring former Tennessee Titans head coach Brian Callahan as their quarterbacks coach and passing game coordinator. Callahan interviewed.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, well, he interviewed for the position of offensive coordinator for the Giants. He didn't get it. So now they're bringing Callahan in as the quarterbacks coach and passing game coordinator. The offensive coordinator's position went to former Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator and Chicago Bears head coach Matt Nagy. Now, Callahan went 4-19 as a head coach of the Titans, including 1-5 this past season before he was given the axe. That was with Cam Ward as their starting quarterback. Their offense scored only 83 points through 6 games. The franchise's fewest through 6 games since 1985. But the New York Giants say, hey, that's our guy for quarterbacks coach and passing game coordinator. We're going to hire Brian Callahan to join our staff after he did such a great job with the Cam Ward at Tennessee, and their offense stunk. 83 points through 6 games, but that's good enough for the Giants.
Is it like the Nebraska fan in me that when you say the Callahan word, I was going to say something else, but then I realized.
You thought I was going to talk about Bill Callahan?
It just in general, the word Callahan is like nails on a chalkboard. I cringe every time I hear it, just because of the way that season, the way that tenure, that era, if you will.
I don't even know if he's coaching anymore, is he?
He's still an offensive line coach, I believe.
Somewhere.
But yeah, I still cringe when I hear it. Yeah, the offense was damn good, but God, our defense stunk, and really kind of the demise of Husker football, the escalation of awfulness began under his leadership and his watch. And every time I hear the word Callahan, I just I have
just wait.
This natural shoulder ugh.
I don't even think Brian Callahan is related to him. But yeah, I'm with you. Every time I mention the word Callahan or Callahan comes up on like an ESPN headline thing, I always click on to make sure it's not Bill Callahan. This is Brian Callahan, who obviously stunk at Tennessee, and now the Giants good enough to bring him on as the quarterback's coach and passing game coordinator after the Tennessee offense scored 83 points in 6 games.
They are related, and I was going to say this.
They are related?
This is son.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did you dial it up?
Yeah.
Brian Callahan is Bill Callahan's son?
I knew they were related, and when you said that, I was like, oh, no, that's not right. Like, I know there's
That's
reasons,
his son.
There's reasons that I get the EBGBs every time I hear the Callahan name in football. Yeah,
that's his son. He's doing such a remarkable job now.
Like father, like son.
That's neat.
Like father.
Yeah,
like
thanks
son.
for the info there.
Yeah,
thanks for the info there.
I do have an interesting segment that we could get to after the break.
Yeah.
But CBS Sports has dropped their 5 teams that are most likely to make a jump next year in the NFL. 5 teams that did not make the playoffs that could threaten for a spot. Top 5 teams. We can get to that.
All right.
Coming up after the news break, we have some interesting names, interesting teams, and some I think that you'll enjoy hearing that CBS has you on the front burner. So.
All right, Russ has come up. He's chimed in on our social media sites as we get to
NASCAR,
some of the early comments. Yeah, he had a bunch of NASCAR stuff on there, but down here a little bit, he chimed in. Who is worse, Bill Callahan or Mike Riley?
Ugh. Oh, man.
God, that could be debated forever.
Mike Riley.
You think so? Remember all those games that Bill Callahan coached for us that we absolutely got blown out?
Yep.
Riley at least took us to a bowl game, didn't he? Yeah. Out in California, that Holiday Bowl or something. Wasn't that under Mike Riley's watch?
Yeah, it was.
So at least he took us to a bowl game. I'd have to say Bill Callahan. Bill Callahan was probably the worst hire that we had. Boy, we had a lot of them.
No, because at least I didn't say who. You know, we hired Bill Callahan. He was
he was
not. He was not too far removed from a Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah, he was with the Raiders. At least I knew.
Yeah, he got beat by John Gruden in that Super Bowl. Yeah. Then he had a bad year, and then it was like, okay, well, he won a Super Bowl. It didn't win, but he took his team to a Super Bowl. We're getting a Super Bowl coach. So, I didn't hate that at the time.
Well, at least we knew when Nebraska announced that, we're going to hire Bill Callahan. I remember when Nebraska made the official announcement on Mike Riley, and I'm in the sports world at that time. I was several years into the sports world.
You came into my office.
I said, who in the hell is Mike Riley?
You had an embarrassing question. You're like, hey,
I should know this, but who in the hell is Mike Riley?
And then I looked at you and I'm like,
he's the coach of the
we have
Chargers?
To Google. No, I said we have to Google.
We did.
We Wikipedia'd him. We had no idea who he was.
Chargers, he just went 1-15, I think it was, with the Chargers. And we're hiring this guy? We're hiring Mike Riley?
Oh,
and we all know how that came out.
Hip hip. Hooray!
We're going to the ice cream store.
Hooray!
Sprinkles! We're going to the ice cream store. I know we just got our butts kicked by 45 points, but it's treats on me. We're taking the team down to Joe's ice cream store, and I'm putting sprinkles on everybody's ice cream cone.
Kindig's dead on. You didn't have to, we didn't have to do a Google search on Bill Callahan. Was it a great hire? No. Was it worse than Riley? At the time, yeah, it was, because I had no idea. I felt like there was any number of names that we could have brought in, and we brought in the polar opposite to Bo Pelini.
I still like Bo.
I still miss Bo.
Just because he dropped a few F-bombs here and there, got pissed off at people.
Threw his hat a couple times.
Oh, who cares? Through his headphones.
I liked Bo.
Yeah, I always liked Bo.
God, we played with a lot of fire.
On occasion.
Sometimes.
All
When we wanted
right,
to.
those are some interesting things. I still got more to go. We're going to look at the NSAA high school football schedules in the second half of the show today. Tyson's got the top 5 teams that may be making a run in the NFL next season. So all that and more is coming up on the other side of our news break. It's a 7:32. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We start off with election news today as Omaha attorney Jocelyn Brasher has entered the race for Nebraska Attorney General, setting up a contest against her former boss, Republican incumbent Mike Hilgers. Brasher, a Democrat and former Assistant Attorney General, says her legal experience prepares her to focus on consumer protection, public safety, and nonpartisan leadership. She has criticized Hilgers for, quote, playing politics with the office. Speaking of election news, Nebraska Secretary of State Bob Evnen is moving forward with his plans to hand over the state's detailed voter registration data. This includes addresses, dates of birth, and partial Social Security numbers, all to the Department of Justice after a judge dismissed a lawsuit seeking to block the transfer, and the Nebraska Supreme Court denied an injunction. Voting rights groups say the release raises serious privacy concerns, while Evnen says the request is lawful and aimed at ensuring compliance with federal election laws. It is coming up on 7:34. We'll head back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going on in sports?
Well, the Nebraska women's basketball team will play at Minnesota tonight. The Huskers are 16-8 on the season, 5-8 in the conference. After Saturday's 78-60 loss to Maryland, the Gophers are 18-6. They're 9-4 in the league. They've won 6 games in a row. Tip-off for the game tonight will be at 7 on BTN. The Nebraska softball team will begin play today in the Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational. The Huskers will play LSU at 9 this morning, followed by a game against Georgia at 3 this afternoon. Huskers will have other games this weekend against Tennessee, Central Florida, and Texas Tech. Husker Athletics has announced that Nebraska's spring football game will be played on Saturday, March 28th at Memorial Stadium with a kickoff set for 11. Tickets will go on sale on Thursday, February 19th. Nebraska will start their spring workouts on Saturday, February 21st. McPherson College used a 6-run fourth inning to beat the Hastings College baseball team 13-3 yesterday. Dylan Wims went 2 for 3 at the plate with an RBI. Tyler Rojas was 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Hastings is now 2-3 on the season. They'll play a 4-game series with Mission University coming up this weekend. Hastings College softball team will play at Bethel today. The Broncos are 1-1 on the season. Action gets underway at 1 this afternoon. The Nebraska Kearney basketball teams will play host to Newman University tonight at the Health and Sports Center. Women's game will be at 5:30 with the men to follow at 7:30. High school basketball action tonight. St. Cecilia will play at Grand Island Central Catholic. The girls' game is at 6 with the boys to follow at 7:30. We'll have the action on Extreme Sports beginning with the pregame show at 5:45 this afternoon. Other action tonight. Hastings High will play at Waverly, and the Adams Central girls will play host to Malcolm. That's a check on your sports headlines at 7:36 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
No big shocker, our warm weather continues through the rest of the weekend, and how about next week? Today, on Thursday, mostly sunny skies, light winds out of the southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. They'll turn to the north in the afternoon, and a high right around 60 degrees. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy, and an overnight low of 28 degrees, 59, mostly sunny on Friday. Then heading into the weekend, we'll have a chance of rain Friday night to Saturday with highs in the 60s.
As you wake up, get going this morning, we've got south winds at 6, cloudy skies. It is 31 in Hastings at Extremes.
Hi guys, this is Justin Consrick with Adam Marshall Land and Auction. Just want to talk to you about how we do things. I talk to farmers every day. A lot of guys just want a simple, honest way to sell equipment. That's why I work with Adam Marshall Land and Auction. We know the equipment, we know the buyers. We run real auctions with no buyer's fees, which brings in more bidders and stronger results. From one machine to the full lineup, we handle marketing, the details, the sales start to finish. We're just real people with real auctions, real results. If you're thinking about auctioning equipment, reach out and give me a call at 308-991-5429.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at Hamilton is Business.
The key to a thriving community is a good foundation. And for over 75 years, Hastings Federal Credit Union has been building and supporting Hastings and the surrounding areas, providing the support for new cars to keep you on the road, new homes to give you a place to land, or help with whatever life throws your way. With easy access via online banking or our mobile app, it's never been easier to have your financial dreams at your fingertips. Come see us at Hastings Federal Credit Union to start your banking journey today.
NASCAR fans, it's time to put your race knowledge to the test. Welcome to the Extreme Sports Fantasy NASCAR League. Pick your drivers, score points every week, and climb the leaderboard as the season heats up. Create your own league to battle your friends or join the official Extreme Sports League and compete with fans everywhere. Want into the Extreme Sports League? Email info@x-streamsports.com. Ready to race? Sign up today at x-streamsports.com/fantasy.
All right, Mike Will and Science Center Bronick with you. It's a huddle up on Extreme Sports for this Thursday. And we'll have some high school basketball coming up tonight. It'll be Hastings St. Cecilia on the road playing at Grand Island Central Catholic. Girls game will be at 6 tonight. with the boys to follow at about 7:30 on the air with a pregame 5:45 this afternoon from the Crusader Gym in Grand Island. Of course, on Saturday, Hastings College basketball for you. The Broncos playing on the road at Morningside. The women's game will be at 2. The men to follow at 3:45 on the air with a pregame 1:45 here on your exclusive home for Broncos sports. That's Extreme Sports. Final road game of the regular season for the Broncos this weekend. Hastings will come back with games at home next week against Concordia and Doane. Then we're into the postseason tournaments as well. So season winding down.
Get that breath of fresh air when you know you're taking your last GPAC regular season road trip.
It's to Sioux City. It's probably not our last road trip of the year.
Probably not the last road trip of the year, but your last regular season road trip.
Yeah, we moved to the next phase.
Sioux City, you pretty much have that grooved into the.
We're up there a lot.
You could ride that in your sleep, basically.
Yeah, we're up there a lot.
You're up there a lot.
Which brings us through our most favorite city and our most favorite restaurant.
that it does.
I thought you'd bring that up, too.
That it does. Speaking of St. Cecilia GICC, make sure and tell all my former Crusader friends and everybody on the coaching staff hello. Coach Tino, assistant coach Rob Misek, assistant coach T. Fred, assistant coach Rupert, assistant coach. They got an army of coaches.
Yeah, they've got more assistant coaches for the Grand Island Central Catholic boys basketball team than they have players on their roster.
They had a big article, a big write up on the in the Independent about the GICC coaching staff and how they kind of navigate responsibilities and practices and how basically a player gets a coach and gets one-on-one special instruction in practice. It's a good problem to have, I guess, if you're GICC. Gavers also on the on the staff. I forgot for GICC. So yeah, they got like a 5-man, 6-man coaching staff.
Oh, at least they played in the Hastings College pre-holiday tournaments back in December, and I watched the Central Catholic that day and was sitting with a bunch of people. I said, God, how many assistant coaches do they have? And at that time, there was like 9 of them.
Yeah.
I said, obviously, there's 9 people that want free tickets to the games. Yeah, there's 9 assistant coaches for a Grand Island Central Catholic. I'll count them tonight and see how many's in actual uniform tonight at home. Hell, they might have like a home coaching staff and an away coaching staff. They had 9 for an away game back in December.
And they all color coordinate the dress code, too.
Oh, yeah, because you got to act like you're an assistant coach, even though you're just trying to get in for a free ticket. So I'll count them up tonight. I'll let you know tomorrow.
Love it.
So anyway, that's up at the Grand Island tonight, Central Catholic and St. Cecilia. We'll have it for you here on Extreme Sports beginning at 5:45. You mentioned the 5 teams to look forward to for next year's NFL season.
I found this while scrolling through CBS Sports yesterday, and just getting kind of an NFL primer, NFL preview. We were talking, of course, about the Seahawks and how they were given the designation as the favorite, and this you mentioned is a good time to get some early bets in on finding this year's, or I should say next year's Seattle team. So I'm going to give you 5.
All right, here we go.
5 long shot plays that you could toss money in on now. That could be a decent shout and collect a nice payday. Teams that are expected to make the biggest jump from this year to next year. Number 1, and I've been saying it since they got rid of Pete Carroll. Vegas Raiders.
Really?
I said Vegas was the most ready to take over organization. They're going to have to deal with some issues. They have some player personnel holdouts that they're going to have to figure out. They're going to have to restructure some contracts. But Vegas with the number 1 pick, providing they don't Vegas it, has I think the biggest opportunity.
They got a new coach?
To make a new jump.
Kubiak's out there. Yeah, he's out there now. They get, like I said, the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. So the Las Vegas Raiders at the top of the list.
And it just, for the Raiders faithful out there, it feels different. Last year when they brought Pete Carroll in, it was Pete Carroll and the ownership team that did the announcement. They bring Coach Kubiak, and it wasn't just a press conference. It was an event. They had Raiders Hall of Famers that were there to welcome. They had an entire table of former players and coaches that were basically ready to take this Raiders football team to the next level. I think Vegas is going to be the team that makes the biggest jump. Obviously, I'm going to stop shy of putting them in the Super Bowl, but I think they're probably on a 2-3 year plan, and so. All right, put the Vegas Raiders on your radar, at least.
Raiders are
number
up there.
2, teams that could make the biggest jump from year 1 to year 2. They're throwing the Tennessee Titans into the mix.
Oh, boy, I don't see that.
Same reasons as the Raiders.
I'd hop on board with your Raiders. I don't see the Tennessee Titans making the jump.
A better position than they were a year ago. They still have the 5th most draft capital in the league heading into the draft, and also have the most cap space to work on some free agents this year. So they are anticipating Tennessee to make a jump.
Work in progress there for Tennessee. A lot of money to work with, so we'll see what they do with their cap space.
Teams that weren't in the playoffs that could probably make the playoffs and make a decent run at it next year. Baltimore.
Obviously.
Ravens were obviously held back.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson had a very injury-plagued season.
Yeah, they'll be back.
They are throwing Baltimore back in the mix as a team that says, hey, don't forget about them.
Okay, Baltimore.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep, I can see that.
They like the hire with Eric Bieniemy coming back to take over the reins. They think that the old boys are going to give her one more good run at it, and if they can keep everybody, as far as the veteran leadership on the team, install a few new pieces. Obviously, we still got to work on that protection and offensive line. The issues that were existing at the end of the Super Bowl, I think, for Kansas City are still existing heading into this offseason. And I think that's fair to say. But get a few pieces put together there. And they're saying don't forget about Kansas City when you're making your way too early Super Bowl bets. And
Number 5 on the list?
I know you'll really like it. The Dallas Cowboys.
What are they saying about the Cowboys? Because I think they have a lot of issues as well.
They are well-positioned to show a significant regular season improvement. First time ever that Dak Prescott has played in more than half of the team's games, and they still finish below 500. The Cowboys' main reason is going back to the Jerry Jones factor, but also going back to their schedule heading into 2026. It's a favorable schedule, according to CBS, for Dallas to be able to pick up some wins and position themselves to be in the postseason.
All right, so the Chiefs, Baltimore, Dallas, Tennessee,
and Vegas.
And the Vegas Raiders. Top 5 teams you'll be looking forward to for next NFL season. By the way, ESPN is going to be airing the Super Bowl next year.
Okay, that's cool.
And the network is going to evidently make this a year-long type deal here. They're planning some Super Bowl stuff for the next year. In fact, it's called the Year of the Super Bowl. They're going to be doing some stuff for the next year on the ESPN, ABC, and their Disney stations. So leading up to the Super Bowl, which ESPN will be airing for the first time next year, they're going to make this more than just a one-day event. They're going to be centering around the Super Bowl with special programming all season long leading up to the Super Bowl next year, which is going to be played in, I think they said, Los Angeles. So,
first
there you
time
go.
That's broke away from CBS and Fox.
Yeah. First time it's been on on ESPN.
Yeah. Huh?
So
Times are changing.
All right. 7:50, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Yes, Jim Sliker. We're talking about the ponies tomorrow. Jim Sliker from Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network will be joining us each and every Friday at 7:30. And we'll be talking about the ponies. It's the opening weekend at Fauner Park. They'll be racing Saturday and Sunday. So anxious to talk with Jim again, as he's going to join us each and every Friday throughout the horse racing season in the state of Nebraska. Got to bring Jim in. He's going to have his own little window. Yeah, he's going to share a window with us here on our video side of things on Extreme Sports. So
that'd be cool.
Looking for he's going to have to actually wear some pants.
What? No, the camera gets you from the waist up.
Yeah, but who knows how his camera is going to be situated?
The only thing I've ever feared, because I've contemplated it before, I'm like, the camera's waist up. I don't necessarily need to throw pants on today. I've always had like this fear of like just like the camera falling off its axis.
It could fall down.
It just show the world. So yeah, put on pants. It's a safe bet.
Well, I a lot of times, and a lot of people that follow this show knows that I wear a sweatshirt normally during this time of the year, but it doesn't really coordinate with what I wear on my lower part of my body. Like today, I'm wearing my sleep pants.
Yeah.
And I know you wear sleep pants all the time because I brought you over a check a couple of weeks ago in the middle of the afternoon, and you were wearing your sleep pants.
They're comfortable around the house.
Yeah, they are.
They're great.
So until I get ready to
leave the house
and get showered up and get ready to go for a basketball like tonight, it might be noon or so before I get that done.
It's also the sleep pants when I get home at the end of the evening.
Yeah, you put them on.
The sleep pants are the international sign of I am done being productive for the day. These are on. We're not going back out.
And you're not doing anything else the rest of the day.
We're done. Sleep pants are on.
So
not going out, guys. Sorry.
Like right now, I've got my Dr. Pepper sleep pants on. So anyway, the NSAA, and we're going to try to sneak this in yet today, NSAA has released the high school football schedules for the next 2 years. Just locally, Hastings High is going to have home games next year against Platteview, Beatrice, Aurora, and McCook. Hastings High will have road games next year at Gretna East, York, Scotts Bluff, Northwest, and Gering.
Oh,
the Tigers, they got to play both at Scotts Bluff and Gering next year. And then the following year, you play the same teams, but the sites just switch. But in 2026, Hastings High's road games will be at Gretna East, York, Scotts Bluff, Northwest, and Gering. Adams Central is going to have home games next year for football against Ogallala, Donovan Trumbull, Raymond Central, Holdridge, and Kearney Catholic. The away games for Adams Central next year will be at Central City, Sydney, Minden, and Broken Bow. And then Hastings St. Cecilia dropping to 8-man football next year. They'll play in the Class D1. The Hawks will have home games next year against Gibbon, Alma, Ravenna, and Sandy Creek. Road games for St. Cecilia next year in Class D1 will be at Centennial, Amherst, Elm Creek, Arcadia Loop City, and Centura. That's what's on tap for the local teams.
A lot of C2 teams dropped to D1.
Yeah, so basically St. Cecilia Well, they're playing a lot of the same teams
Yeah.
that we saw in 11-man football. I think that's one of the main reasons why St. Cecilia dropped to 8-man football in Class D1, because all of their opponents that they normally play, they're all dropping. So they would have had nobody to play, basically. They'd have to reach out and play.
That's old C2 right there.
Yeah, it really is. So, St. Cecilia playing Class D1, playing 8-man football, but a lot of the teams that we're going to see next year for St. Cecilia are teams that we traditionally have had games with. So
this is the year that they have. Is it this year or next that they're doing 3 classifications?
I think that's this year coming up.
Yeah, that's this year coming up. Okay.
So those are just some high school football schedules. We'll maybe try to bring on
Hastings High. You got to go to Gretna and then the Western road trips twice.
Yeah.
You will be on the road in just 3 of those games. 3 of those games for 21 hours.
Yeah, Gretna East, Scottsbluff, and Gering.
Just throw Valentine in the mix and touch every corner of the state.
Why not? All right, 7:56, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Starting off with election news today, Omaha attorney Jocelyn Brasher has entered the race for Nebraska Attorney General, setting up a contest against her and her former boss, Republican incumbent Mike Hilgers. Brasher, a Democrat and former Assistant Attorney General, says her legal experience prepares her to focus on consumer protection, public safety, and nonpartisan leadership. She's recently criticized Hilgers for, quote, playing politics with the office. Nebraska Secretary of State Bob Evnen is moving forward with his plans to hand over detailed voter registration data, including addresses, birthdays, and partial Social Security numbers to the Department of Justice after a judge dismissed a lawsuit seeking to block the transfer and the Nebraska Supreme Court denied the injunction. Voting rights groups say the release raises serious privacy concerns, while Evnen says the request is lawful and aims at ensuring compliance with federal election laws. 7:58, back to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
Well, the Nebraska women's basketball team on the floor tonight. They'll play at Minnesota. Tip-off will be at 7 tonight on BTN. Golden Gophers are red hot. They've won 6 games in a row. 18-6 on the season, 9-4 in the conference. Nebraska has dropped 3 games in a row, including Saturday's loss to Maryland, 78-60. Huskers sitting at 16-8 on the season, are now 5-8 in conference play. The Nebraska softball team will begin play today in the Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational. Huskers will play LSU at 9 this morning, Georgia at 3 this afternoon. The Husker football spring game has been set. Saturday, March 28th will be the date at Memorial Stadium. Kickoff will be at 11. Tickets will go on sale on Thursday, February 19th. Hastings College baseball team on the road yesterday. They lost to McPherson College by the score of 13-3. The Broncos giving up a 6-run 4th inning. Broncos are now 2-3 in the season. They'll play a 4-game series with Mission University coming up this weekend. Hastings College softball team in action today. They'll play at Bethel. Doubleheader gets underway at 1 this afternoon. The Nebraska Kearney basketball team's on the floor tonight. They'll play Newman University at the Health and Sports Center. High school basketball tonight. St. Cecilia playing at Grand Island Central Catholic. Girls game at 6, boys game at 7:30. We'll have the action on Extreme Sports beginning at 5:45 this afternoon. Other action tonight, Hastings High will play at Waverly, and the Adams Central girls at home to take on Malcolm. Malcolm, one of the top teams in C1. They've only got like 1 loss this year. So Adams Central and Malcolm in girls play coming up tonight as far as your high school basketball schedule. That's a check on your sports headlines at 7:59 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
No big shocker. Our warm weather continues through the rest of the weekend, and how about next week? Today, on Thursday, mostly sunny skies, light winds out of the southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. They'll turn to the north in the afternoon, and a high right around 60 degrees. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy, and an overnight low of 28 degrees, 59, mostly sunny on Friday. Then heading into the weekend, we'll have a chance of rain Friday night to Saturday with highs in the 60s.
South winds this morning at about 6. Cloudy skies, 31 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Valentine's Day doesn't have to be loud, crowded, or rushed. Friday, February 13th and Saturday the 14th, escape to Miletovist Winery, high on the hill. Bring your Valentine plus a couple of friends, and your table of four will enjoy your first bottle of wine for just $5. We're adding shrimp scampi, surf and turf a la creme, and pork chop supreme to our regular menu. No pressure, no stress, just great food, great wine, and a relaxed setting with time to reconnect. Celebrate Valentine's Day the easy way at Miletovist Winery, St. Paul. Relax, rewind, and recharge.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Join us for the Little Blue River Pheasants Forever Banquet and Auction on Saturday, February 21st at the Adams County Fairgrounds in Hastings. Social hour begins at 5:30 p.m. with dinner at 7 p.m. Tickets are available at the door for just $25 for adults and $20 for kids under 16. There will be an auction after dinner, and at least 16 youth guns will be given away for ages 5 to 16. Must be present to win. All proceeds from the youth raffle go to the Youth Mentor Hunt and other youth programs, and there will be lots of other raffles too. Don't miss out on the fun.
All right, Mike Wills, High Center Brownie. Huddle up on Extreme Sports. Boy, covered a lot today. Buzzed right on through, and I didn't even get to everything that I had on my list of things to talk about today.
Got one more for you. NL Central. Pacoda. The Pacoda projections are out. These are always fun preseason baseball reading material. It doesn't paint a pretty picture for the St. Louis Cardinals, but if you're a Cubs fan in the live lobby, it does. Cubs are the projected NL Central winners this season in 2026 with an overall Pacoda ranking of 90 and 72. Meanwhile, the Cardinals, who have decimated the entire roster and front office in a complete rebuild. We blew the whole thing up. We're starting from zero. They are projected at 66 and 96 for the season. Could be a long summer.
God, I'm gonna have to listen to you.
Summer.
I'm gonna have to listen to you whine every single day.
I take it with a knowledge of we nuked it. We nuked whatever was going on in
That's
St.
what
Louis,
you want.
so
That's what you wanted them to do.
I didn't.
At the end of last year, that's what you wanted them to do. You wanted to blow it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. You wanted them to blow it up, so they blew it up. They just listened to what you had to say, and now you're going to have to live with it for probably, 2-3 years?
I felt like we could have held on to a couple of our
No.
players.
If you're going to blow it up, you might as well blow it up, and that's what they did.
I was like,
so
you're got a couple prospects. Nope, they're gone too. Okay.
No, you're gonna put up with misery now while they rebuild the St. Louis baseball organization. You're gonna put up with misery for probably 2 to 3 years.
Woohoo!
God, I'm gonna have to listen to you whine for that long.
It's a long time.
You
better hope they win a couple games.
Yeah. It could be a long summer. Anyway, if you'd like to listen to the show again, kind of an informative show here today, you can go back and grab the podcast. Maybe you missed a portion of the show. Want to listen to it again, grab the podcast and listen to it at your convenience throughout the day here today. Make plans to be here again tomorrow morning at 7 for Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Jim Sliker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network is going to join us for the first time this season. It'll be at 7:30 tomorrow, so looking forward to that. Grab out your daily racing form.
I got to get the sheet.
Yeah, I got to get the sheet and know what the hell we're talking about. But we still got time to do that. Jim will join us at 7:30 tomorrow. So thanks for joining us. Make plans to be here again tomorrow morning at 7. Have yourself a great day.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on